What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emma if you're new here, and I love to talk about all things Peloton cycling and fitness. So be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I post every single Sunday, and today's video I am excited. Recently Peloton has released all of these like split plus some sort of cardio programs. They're basically just a tread boot camp, a row boot camp, or a bike boot camp. And for 4 days, like it is supposed to be a split, but there's obviously still cardio in it. So I'm just very interested to see what these are like. I'm intrigued by the idea. So today I'm going to be reviewing Olivia's 4-day split plus run. The description is maximize your workouts by split training with Olivia. Build muscle and increase your aerobic capacity by targeting specific areas of the body and ending each workout in a cardio finisher. Repeat and track your progress. And it is just a 1-week split with 4 classes, and each class is 30 to 45 minutes. It looks like there's 3 30-minute classes and then 1 45-minute class. I am not really a tread bootcamp girly. I don't gravitate towards really any of the bootcamp classes. I typically like to split my cardio and strength days. So like if I'm doing strength, I'm going hard on strength. If I'm doing cardio, I'm going hard on cardio. But I am interested to just see like what this is like, because I just feel like split training is such the opposite of cardio. I'm interested to see how these like work in together. I am a bit nervous about Olivia because I did take a biking class with her recently and I really did not like it, but I usually like her runs more. So I'm interested to see, what she brings us in this program. So today is obviously day 1, and we're going to be doing the 30-minute upper body push and run by Olivia Amato. The description is target your chest, shoulders, and triceps in this dynamic upper body push workout that ends with a high intensity cardio burst. So I almost wonder if it's like you just do the strength and then you finish with a run. We'll see. Let's go to the gym, hit the mat, hit the tread, and knock out this first class in this 4-day split. Miss Olivia and I definitely have different opinions on how a split should be run, but I actually didn't completely hate it because I feel like I had the expectation of it being kind of all over the place, not getting a lot of recovery. So I chose a lower weight. When we started, Olivia is like, choose a weight 10 to 20 pounds. Typically for an arm split class, I would choose 15 pounds. But I'm like, you know what? Let's go down to 12 pounds. And then like, if I feel like it's too easy, I can always, get a heavier weight. And 12 pounds was definitely right for me. Like some moves did feel very easy at 12 pounds, but you also got basically no recovery. So it worked out. So we started off, we had a 2-minute warm up. That was fine. And then we got pretty much right on into it. We did this like big set twice. And the set was, and assume no recovery in between moves unless if I say something, 45 seconds of chest presses, 45 seconds of skull crushers, just one weight, 45 seconds of alternating chest flies, so just one weight, and then 45 seconds of a hollow body while pushing one weight up. This move was actually really interesting. I've never done it before. It was very hard, very much work the core, but I did like that. Like I do like a new interesting move. Then we had 20 seconds rest after our, 3 minutes of work. Then we did 45 seconds push up, 45 seconds Arnold press, 45 seconds push up, and then 45 seconds Arnold press again. And then we had a 50-second rest before doing that entire set again. But instead of 45-second sets, we did minute sets. So like I said, we had around 2 minutes of recovery for the whole 20-minute strength block. So just keep that in mind. And this was all AMRAP. Normally I would really not be a fan of this kind of setup, but I feel like I had that expectation going in, so then it wasn't that bad. I actually didn't mind it, and it was definitely effective. Like my arms were burdened towards the end. And this entire class is just structured to do the like workout portion first and then running at the end. So we had a 1-minute transition and then 8 minutes of running at the end. And those were just hits. So 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, And then for the second half, we did 20 seconds on, 40 seconds off. And I love the running part, like no complaints there. I feel like I've taken a lot of tread classes with Olivia and never really have an issue. It's just her strength and cycling, I guess, is kind of all over the place. But this is basically what I was expecting from her. The music was great. I do love Olivia's personality, so it was a fun class to take. I would just highly recommend that if you're going to take it, definitely adjust your weights and go on the lighter side. It will still be an effective workout. Your arms will still feel sore afterwards, I promise you. I do still feel like I just don't see a huge reason to kind of mash these into one class. I actually didn't mind it as much because I liked that we didn't switch back and forth. It was essentially a 20-minute strength class and then 10 minutes of a tread class. But yeah, we'll see how the rest of the week goes. I am curious. Difficulty for today, I would give a 7 out of 10. With my adjusted weights in mind, if I actually tried to use my normal weights, it definitely would have been a lot harder. But I do feel like some moves were almost kind of active recovery. For example, the skull crushers with just one weight. That is very, very light for me. So it felt like, I got some good moves in, got some work in, but also still felt like it wasn't overwhelmingly hard. And then the running portion, I HIIT. I feel like you get a lot of recovery, so really no complaints there. Enjoyability, I would also give it a 7 out of 10. I definitely feel like it is always more enjoyable when you already have the expectation of what it's going to be. And I feel like I knew that going in. So I didn't mind it. Good workout, good day one. And I'm curious to see how the rest of the week goes. It is now 3 days later. We had 2 days of rest, but now we're ready to get right back into the split. In today's class, I'm a little nervous because it is a 45-minute lower body and run class. By Olivia Amato, the description is, target your lower body with this hard-hitting split workout, focus on strengthening your legs, and finish with low-impact cardio burst. Which, low impact? I don't know if that means it's going to be a hike. If so, I'd be really happy. I am worried because I feel like doing legs and then, running is hard because they use the same muscles. Also, I'm definitely still gradually working my way back up into strength weekly. And for some reason, lower body classes really, really make me sore compared to upper body. So, and it's a 45-minute class, so we're going to be pushing a little hard today. But it's Sunday morning. Hopefully this is a good challenge to start off my week right. So let's go to the gym, hit the mat, hit the tread, and knock out this 45-minute tread boot camp. Another class done. I actually did this one today, again with the expectations that it would kind of just be a strength slog. I will say the playlist was a big factor for me. I just absolutely love this playlist, and it was kind of all over the place, but it was just music that I really liked. They played Bittersweet Goodbye, Misery Business, some R&B, some rap. It was just a really fun playlist, so that definitely helped with the vibe of the class. This class was split 30 minutes strength and then 15 minutes on the tread. And even from the beginning of the class, Olivia kept saying that it was going to be low impact on the tread. I basically think that just meant walking recoveries, but we definitely did still do good work on the tread. And man, oh man, were the legs sore. But we started off with the strength section, and Olivia said to grab 15 to 30 pounds. And I was honestly, Olivia, I'm grabbing the 15 pounds. And we basically did one mega set twice, where in the mega set, there was basically mini sets. We started off with some single dumbbell work. We did things like goblet squats, sumo squats. We did one really interesting move where we were in a hip bridge and then did a skull crusher. That's the other thing. A lot of moves in this class were kind of full body, where we'd be working out the legs and then also be working out the core and arms. I didn't mind that. I feel yeah, they were good moves, and it's not something I typically do, which I like. I like, new moves, new instructor, let's get some things different. I love Andy Spear, but I feel I take him so much that sometimes it's nice to take a different instructor and see their take on strength. After we did the first set, which was mostly single dumbbell work, which I admit for a 15-pound dumbbell like that work was pretty easy for me, but again, we got almost no recovery. So I feel like it was good, and I'm glad that I did not push myself harder. Then we went into a bar section, which I actually really liked because I do feel like bar fits Olivia's training style well. Like you don't get a lot of recovery in bar, no weights, and yeah, just, donkey kicks, pulse in the leg. You could definitely feel it in the glutes. I really like that section. We did it on one side, then did it on the other side. And then we finished off with some more like classic strength. We did things like squats and deadlifts, kind of more classic strength. And again, 15 pounds is not like the most hard weight for me for deadlifts or squats, but again, we were in the slog of strength. So I feel like good weight and effective workout. Like I could definitely feel my glutes burning, especially from that bar section. And we did that mega set twice. And then we had an EMOM at the end, and I actually liked the EMOM, surprisingly, because I was worried. But the EMOM was only 3 minutes long, and I actually liked it because it progressed. For the first minute, you were supposed to do 4 squats with then an overhead press, 4 dumbbell swings on both sides, and then 4 either like burpees or squat thrusts, like really whatever you wanted to do there. And then after that, for the next minute, we went up to 5 of each, and the last minute, we went up to 6 of each. So I like that because first off, if it just started at 6, I would be mad because you got like no recovery on the last minute, but it was okay because it was the last minute. So you kind of like get into the moves, get a little bit faster, get more comfortable, and you have less and less recovery. And yeah, I feel like for a 3-minute EMOM, it was structured really well. Like I like that EMOM. Then we got on the tread, and the tread had a bunch of mini sets, but essentially it was like 1 minute of walking, sometimes uphill walking, and then usually 1 minute of jogging and running. Towards the end, we got into like really HIIT, which was like 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, but definitely a lot of walking recovery. But you could feel the tiredness in your legs as you were going into this running set. So I like that there was a decent amount of recovery in the class, and it felt like a good little finisher. I like Olivia's run content, so their runs I feel like are never the issue. But overall, it was a good class, not like a amazing, oh my gosh, I have to take it again class, but I was a little worried going in 45 minutes on the legs, but I feel like we went in, did what we needed to do. I'll definitely feel it in my glutes tomorrow. But yeah, overall, a good class. Enjoyability, I would give it like an 8 out of 10. I think that it was definitely more enjoyable than yesterday, but I do like movements more than arms typically, especially more than push arms. Difficulty, I would give maybe like a 7 out of 10. Really, I thought the most difficult part was the bar section, just because I need to practice my bar moves. Like you really get the glutes burning really quickly. But besides that, I obviously went down in weight. So the strength weight sections were not that hard. And then for the runs, you definitely felt sore, but it was an easier run than yesterday as well. So overall, a good class, an amazing playlist. And yeah, I do enjoy Olivia's personality. So it was a good way to kick off the week this Sunday. It's now the next morning, and guys, I am really not ready for winter because it is already 7 a.m. and the sun is not up yet, which I know daylight savings time is coming, but honestly, that's gonna make it worse for the evening. But surprisingly, I'm not sore at all from yesterday. I think it is because I used the lighter weights, but I'm still kind of surprised because I felt like it was a good workout yesterday. But we are ready to get back on track with this program. I need to do another class today. Class 3, which is a 30-minute upper body pull and run class by Olivia Amato. The description is target your back and biceps in this dynamic upper body pull workout that ends with high intensity cardio burst. And I really like pull, so this should be a good class for me. And I feel like after a 45-minute class yesterday, a 30-minute class should feel really nice. So let's go to the gym, hit the mat, hit the tread, and knock out this 30-minute tread boot camp. Another enjoyable class, no real complaints. It was exactly what I expected. So we started off the class. Olivia said to grab, I believe, between like 10 and 25 pound weights. She said medium weights. I grabbed 12 pound weights. Typically, I would do 15 on a pull day, but I knew there'd be no recovery. So I feel like 12 pounds was the right weight. And I feel like the strength portion was not super notable, like nothing really out of the ordinary for an Olivia class. We did 2 sets that we repeated twice each. And those sets were very, very typical pool movements. You know, think chest flies, think bent over rows. Really the only kind of surprising move we didn't do any tricep kickbacks, which they're not my favorite. So like no real complaints there. We did a lot of renegade rows, but yeah, very like normal pool set. I feel like the last 2 classes she did like one unique move in each class, but really in my opinion, like no unique moves, just very, very typical pool. And then after those 2 sets, we had a 3-minute AMRAP, which was like a 45-second AMRAP and then 15 seconds off, and then 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off. And I feel like the AMRAP was just solidly okay. It was 6 wide grip bent over rows, and then 6 regular bent over rows, and then 6 renegade rows. And my only kind of like beef here is that she's like, oh, like count how many rounds you do. And like, you only get 45 seconds. That's already, 18 moves. I was doing like 1 round plus like a couple reps into the next round. I don't know. I just feel like it's unrealistic that you could go from like 1 round to like 3 rounds of that in 45 seconds. But whatever. I appreciate that she at least programmed the 15 seconds of recovery into that AMRAP. And then we were done with strength. Honestly, the thing that I remember most about strength, which I just thought was so weird, is that first off, the music was great. I love the music. I love Olivia's playlist, but she played Juicy by Doja Cat, and she played that yesterday as well. And I actually went back to check, and she did, because I was like, that's such a unique song. It's weird to repeat in playlists. And these classes, I believe, have a rest day programmed in between them, but still you're like taking them kind of back to back, like, at most you took it 2 days ago. So I thought that was a little weird, but whatever, we got through the strength. And then the running portion was fine. It was a lot of HIIT work, which I'm totally fine with. We started out doing like 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, and then we went to 20 seconds on and 20 seconds off. And the run was only like 9 minutes. We mostly like do strength, so really no complaints. And then the class was over. Enjoyability, I do like pool movements more than push, so I'd give it like a 7.5. I do think I liked the leg class yesterday even more, but it was an enjoyable class, like no real complaints. I feel like the weights were good. I feel like especially for pool, the 12 pounds was good because things like chest flies, 12 pounds is like still pretty challenging, while something like a bent over row, it's a little bit easier. For curls, that's like kind of middle of the road for me. Like 15 pounds on curls would be really hard. So I feel like the weights were good, and I like the running portion at the end. Difficulty, I would give maybe like a 6.5 out of 10. I actually think it was probably the easiest of the classes I took so far. Again, I feel like that is more related to it being a pool class, just because I feel like legs is like really full body, and then push, I'm bad at push-ups, so I always feel like that's harder. But yeah, I didn't feel like this was an overly difficult class at all. Pretty easy to follow. Not a lot of recovery, but at this point, like, you know what to expect. Olivia's not throwing us any curveballs here. So a good day 3, and I'm excited to have a rest day tomorrow and come back on Wednesday to wrap up the program. It's now Wednesday. We had a nice break from the program yesterday, and now I'm ready to wrap it up with class 4, which is a 30-minute core and run class by Olivia Amato. The description is, target your core and lower back in this hard-hitting split workout that ends with a low-impact cardio burst. And man, oh man, my core is a weak one. I definitely need core, so I'm glad that there's like a separate core class for the split. I feel like a lot of splits combine core with lower body. So I am happy because I need to do it. I don't know how happy I'm going to be while I'm doing it, but we'll see. I do feel like Olivia's teaching style does lend well to core. So let's go to the gym, hit the mat, hit the tread, and finish this final tread boot camp. That was definitely the hardest of the 4 classes for me, but I will say my core is just so weak, so I definitely needed it, but man oh man, was it a struggle. I will say that I think that Olivia offered some good modifications if you needed to do it a little bit easier. And I did take some of the modifications. Some I didn't, some I did push myself, but sometimes I was like, man, oh man, there's just no way that I'm gonna be able to do this. And as expected, there's like very little recovery. You just kind of go from one move to the next in the core section, but there was no weight, which was nice. So everything was body weight, but honestly, body weight core does not mean that it's easy at all. She can definitely still make you work. It was 20 minutes of core and then 10 minutes of running. That's a pretty typical split from all the other classes as well. And in the core, we did like one big set twice, but the big set kind of had like little sections in it. I'd say the first section was focused on a lot of back work where we did things like crunches, hollow body holds, a lot of variations of like moving the feet while being in a hollow body hold, which man, oh man, that is so hard for me. Hollow body holds are definitely like my worst core move. Then we had a little bit of like a break section where we were doing like single leg stretch where you'd hug the knee to your chest. I feel like, yeah, that was a little bit easier. And then we finished off with some plank work, going into downward dog, bringing a foot in and crunching, things like that. And then we repeated that entire big chunk again. I like when we repeat stuff. We did repeat like a lot of sets in this whole program. So I did like that because then you like know what to expect, you know what is in the rest of the class. But yeah, definitely a hard core class, but there's not that many core classes out there that I would say are easy. Then we got on the tread, and I thought it was interesting that in the description it was like low impact cardio burst, because a lot of it was just like running for 1 to 2 minutes and then having a 30-second either walk or jog recovery, which I had no problem with. Like my legs were not sore at all. My core was a little tender, but I feel like it didn't like impact my running. So yeah, the run felt fine and I liked it. I always like the runs. The playlist, as always, was on point, and I think it was like a pretty good class to wrap up the program with. For enjoyability, I would give this class like a 6 out of 10. That's really not Olivia's fault though. That's just a core thing for me. I actually thought that Olivia was like pretty good in this class for, you know, something that was core. It could definitely be way less enjoyable, but she kind of kept things moving. I liked how she like split the set up into different like almost focus areas that were like doing back work, and then we were doing plank work. And yeah, I like the run. So overall, like not the most enjoyable thing in the world, but I do recognize the need for core work. Difficulty, I would give like a 8 out of 10. I do appreciate that Olivia offered modifications if things were too hard, because I do feel like, especially in core, it's easy for me to get demotivated, but she kept the vibes high. I wasn't demotivated. Like I never stopped. I would just do the modifications. So I can appreciate it. Still a hard class though. And then yeah, the run was not bad at the end, but the core section was pretty hard. Overall, I don't know how I feel about this program. I probably wouldn't take it again just because I feel like this kind of split work is not ideal for me. I think that I definitely do better and feel like I could see more results with a heavier load but less reps. Something like, you know, Andy Spear versus this where it's kind of more of a slog where you're doing lighter weight and more reps. I do think it is up to preference, and I do think that this was like a fun program to take. But Olivia's like, oh, the goal is to like retake this 4 times, and I'm just not convinced that if you took it 4 times, you'd really see any progress. I also knew going in that I was going to be a little bit biased just because I don't really see the value in tread boot camps in general. I'd rather do strength on strength days, do runs on cardio days, and split it up and then like really focus on doing whatever I'm doing on that day. I did like the format of these classes where it was basically just like a 20-minute strength class and then a 10-minute run. I'm glad we didn't go back and forth because I think that would have made it even worse. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. If you've taken this program, let me know if you've taken any of the other like split plus cardio programs. Also let me know how they are. I'm very curious. I definitely want to take Ben Aldis's split plus bike because he's my boy. But yeah, I would be curious what you guys think. That is it for this video. I hope you guys are staying safe, having an awesome week, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.